Hello everyone, this is Starfire Espo, and you're watching my top 10 scary/creepiest horror games of all time. Please keep in mind that these are my opinions, so not everyone's going to agree. And now, without further ado, please enjoy the top 10. The number 10 game on my list isn't what you'd call the most scary game in the entire world, but it still has that creepy, somewhat eerie factor. And this game is Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare. With its clever use of dark and frightening areas, Alone in the Dark 4: The New Nightmare creates a somewhat somber yet slightly scary atmosphere for players. Throughout the game, strange and grotesque creatures of darkness attack you without warning. This, mixed with frightening music and sound effects, can give the player that eerie feeling that horror should. Although Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare does not have much blood or gore, or the best graphics, its attributes of mystery, puzzle solving, and dark environments is what makes it number 10 on my list. Game number 9 sends us into the future, into the year of 2145 on the planet Mars. The game takes place inside of a scientific research facility developing biological research and advanced weapons. You guessed it, the game is Doom 3. Being a reboot of the original Doom games, Doom 3 has you fighting all kinds of creatures and monsters, but this time around you're also fighting demons. With the help from dark environments, these creatures and demons you battle can literally come out of nowhere. Doom 3 gives the player that mind-boggling experience they deserve in a horror game when going through the scientific laboratory and even going to hell. Different environments filled with dark and creepy spaces as well as little light give the player a very exciting experience. These, plus other items including music and sound effects, give Doom 3 number 9 on my list. Game number 8 on my list gives the saying "I'll tear you limb from limb" a whole new meaning. The player plays in a highly claustrophobic areas inside of this deep space mining ship in this thriller, Dead Space. Dead Space makes number 8 on my list because it's not what you'd call an extremely scary game, but it does have times that make you jump. And these times are mostly when going around a corner and suddenly bumping into one of the crewmates now turned into an alien creature. With long arms and legs, and even arms in the middle of them, these creatures are not able to die unless you cut off all of their limbs. Using special 3D technology, Dead Space allows you to see things like you wouldn't before. Plus, the fact that you can get attacked when looking at your inventory and map makes the game twice as difficult and twice as frightening when something comes out of a vent and you don't know it's there. Dead Space isn't the most scary game in the world, but its dark environments, creepy sounds, clicking and clanking, and even just the ship in general make it a pretty scary game. Virus-infected zombies, mutant dogs, and a strange creepy mansion? That sounds like Resident Evil. That's right, game number 7 on my list is the remake of Resident Evil 1. Being a fan of the Resident Evil series in general, I believed that the remake of Resident Evil 1 was very well done. Resident Evil was always a fun game to fight infested zombies and solve riddles, but Resident Evil 1 just had those riddles a little bit more mysterious. Rooms you go into and get killed almost every time with spikes coming at you because you don't know what to do is somewhat of a challenge. The game is also this frightening factor when you can hear moaning and breathing, but you just cannot figure out where it's coming from. Because of its intricate story plot, awkward noises, great music, and frightening moments, Resident Evil 1 Remake has made number 7 on my list. This game follows Ethan Thomas, whose life has descended into alcoholism and homelessness, but that doesn't stop him from fighting citywide violence and mass hysteria. Game number 6 is Condemned 2: Bloodshot. Similar to the original Condemned, Condemned 2: Bloodshot is a first-person action game focused on melee-oriented combat. The game also has adventure features, elements in the forensic investigation of crime scenes. Unlike the original Condemned, Condemned 2 allows for hand-to-hand combat with the player's bare fists. Like the original Condemned, it also features melee weapons and firearms. However, the melee weapons are now able to break after severe strikes or blocks, which can make the game even more difficult. What makes Condemned 2 so creepy or frightening is the fact that you're being attacked by multiple people at multiple times, mostly homeless people or even demons. The creepy environments and creepy sounds make Condemned 2: Bloodshot number 6 on my list. Penumbra: Black Plague is number 5 on my list. Throughout this whole entire game, you'll be jumping on your seat as these mutants appear out of nowhere in dark corridors, chasing you with various weapons. What makes this game even worse is you don't have a weapon to fight back, so you literally have to run and hide from them. It's not just the scare factor that makes Penumbra: Black Plague a great game. The music and the techniques you can use to hide from the monsters and create traps make the game so much more enjoyable than other horror games I've played. Along with its prequel, Penumbra: Black Plague continues to make me frightened every time I play. It's not the most scary of scary games, but it will definitely make you jump in the night if you play it with no lights on. I guarantee that Penumbra: Black Plague will give you the chill you're looking for a horror game, which is exactly why it makes number 5 in my top 10. First Encounter Assault Recon, otherwise known as Fear, makes number 4. What makes Fear so frightening compared to other horror games is that it doesn't involve monsters jumping out in front of you, but rather shows scary images and scenes which can literally bring out the psychological aspect of fear. You play as a point man from the US Special Ops in this game of fright. While going through different areas, the player finds clues as to who or what is causing all the trouble. The main source of the game's horror is a little ghostly girl named Alma, who appears randomly throughout the game. The gameplay and scenes are like those out of a Japanese horror film, and the music and harsh sound effects, as well as mysterious voices talking to you, makes gameplay just a bit more frightening. Between the dark and creepy corridors, random burning fires, ghostly images, and strange grinding metal sounds, the environment of Fear can make even the bravest of gamers turn around and look to see just what might be lurking behind them. Game number 3 turns the simplest film camera into a special weapon all its own. If you thought fighting ghosts and monsters was bad enough, try taking their picture. Game number 3 is Fatal Frame 2: Crimson Butterfly. The game begins when twin sisters Miyu and Mayu Akamura are visiting the spot where they used to play as children. When Mayu follows a mysterious crimson butterfly deep into the woods, Miyu follows, and the two girls are led into a mysterious village shrouded in fog. For most of the game, the player controls Miyu, who must explore the entire village area and its surrounding buildings, finding objects to solve puzzles and clues to advance. Throughout the game, a variety of ghosts appear to Miyu, thinking she was someone else and asking her to perform a ritual with her sister. In order to exorcise these ghosts, or make them disappear, you must take the ghost picture with a special camera and unique film. The chilling buildings, dark passages, and array of creepy ghosts make Fatal Frame 2: Crimson Butterfly 3rd on the list. Number 2 on my top 10 is a lesser known but immensely frightening game called Amnesia: The Dark Descent. From the same creators of Penumbra, Amnesia brings fright to a whole new level. Players control Daniel, a young man who has just awoke in the mysterious Brennenburg Castle. As the title suggests, he has amnesia and can't remember a thing. Like Penumbra, Amnesia does not give the player access to weapons, but rather has the player run from the creatures which follow. What makes this game so intensely scary is the pace at which things happen. Not only do creatures chase you, but if you stay in the dark for too long when hiding, Daniel's sanity goes down and he starts hallucinating things. The dark stone corridors to the creaking ladders make this game truly frightful. You have to be good with the mouse to play this game though, because it's only for the PC. If you wait too long to move out of sight, you might just find your face ripped off within a few moments. Whether it be hiding or running, the creatures in the game will come after you, and at any time, in any place. Amnesia is not a very well-known game, which makes me quite sad to hear. Out of all the games mentioned so far, Amnesia is the only game that has really made me feel uncomfortable whenever or wherever I play. To truly get the full effect of the game, you have to play in the dark with headphones on. Between having little light, fast creatures, and distorted music, the castle becomes a vector for your nightmares. Amnesia: The Dark Descent ranks number 2 on the horror scale. Last but not least, the number 1 horror game of all time is, of course, Silent Hill. I am probably one of the biggest Silent Hill fans in this world, and that being said, it was really hard to pick just one of the games to be posted on this video as the most creepy or scary. Now for me, out of all 7 of the games, there's really only 2 that I found to actually really frighten me. One was Silent Hill Origins, and that was mostly for music and just the dark factor of it. But for this number 1 spot on the video, I decided to go with Silent Hill 3. In the 3rd installment of Silent Hill, the player controls Heather Mason. While shopping in her town's mall, Heather is transported into the nightmare of Silent Hill and ends up going to the town itself later on. As in all Silent Hill games, you do get an assortment of weapons to battle off the strange creatures which attack you. The only thing that made my choice be Silent Hill 3 was the Nightmare Hospital level. I have never in my playing of Silent Hill been more freaked out than in this level in this game. As if the eerie grinding sounds and the walls being covered with blood and running orange ooze wasn't enough, there are creatures sneaking up on you at every turn, and it's darker than dark, so even using your flashlight you can't see. There's one room in particular in Silent Hill 3 where you come up to a mirror in this hospital world, and Heather sees a girl that looks much similar to her on the other side. Now, I won't reveal who she is, so it won't spoil for people who haven't played. But once you see her, the room begins to fill with these strange red vines and turns the rooms of the hospital into a creepy running mess, not to mention hard to navigate. The second thing about Silent Hill 3 that made it be the top of the top was the amusement park area. As a child, most of us love amusement parks, right? And especially the carousel. And for those of you who have played this game, you understand when I say demon horses and spinning around do not equal a good childhood memory. The intense music and sound effects for places and creatures is what tops the cake for any Silent Hill game. But some of the music in Silent Hill 3 just gives you the chills. Not only does Silent Hill 3 have an awesome storyline and scary scenes, but it also involves some grotesque moments as well. All I can say is God Fetus plus Claudia equals ew. It is because of this amazing storyline, frightening creatures, eerie environment, dark hallways, gross walls, gross scenes, nightmares, and creepy childhood remembrances that truly make Silent Hill 3 the #1 horror game of all time.